Namaste, yoga friends. My name is Doreen Foxwell, and today we are talking about the full moon in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Now, today I have a new furry friend with me. This is Moonshine, and Moonshine is 10 weeks old, and we actually have only had her for a week now. And Moonshine came to us in a very unique way. At the beginning of the year, I do a workshop with my astrology teacher called Planning with the Planets. If anyone's interested in mapping out their year to know certain life events that may happen, certain things that you should look out for, certain things you should prepare for. Well, when I did mine this year, it showed that a pet was coming into my life, or the conditions were right for a pet. And so my husband, who is a big-time dog lover, has been very patient with me. It has been about 5 years since our last dog left us. And I wasn't sure I was ready for that responsibility. Moonshine here, who's a teething puppy, she happened to be born on a new moon, a dark new moon. Now, all moons are dark. This one was especially dark on May 10th. But besides that, it happened to be the night that those of us on the East Coast were able to see the borealis lights, those beautiful lights that normally only happen in other locations. The Northern Lights. I had to look at the name. So badly named sometimes. The Northern Lights happened here on the East Coast. That was the night also Moonshine was born. Even bigger was, it was an Indian holiday. Happens once a year. And I probably am going to butcher this name, but for short, it's called Akatij or Akitij. Akatij is when the sun and the moon are equally strong and equally powerful. They are equal. And this is when this beautiful little puppy came into the world with her siblings. I think she's one of 4. Moonshine's the only one, though, that came in with this beautiful red and cream color. All of her siblings are actually gray and black, which kind of fit the fact that it was a new moon. So I thought, wow, this is no coincidence. I knew down to the moon when we would get a pet. And it happens to be this Capricorn full moon, the second full moon of this month, also called a blue moon or once in a blue moon, because there are 2 full moons in Capricorn that happened this month. And so this is the second of the 2. And again, when I did my charting, I saw that it was in the house, it's called a house in your charts, of pets and in my family. And I was like, oh boy, if we're getting a pet, I better be ready by the time that Capricorn full moon hits for the second time. And things were already in motion behind the scenes. Now, what's very interesting, and the reason I bring this all up for this full moon, is Capricorn's full moon is about work and family life balance. Cancer is the season we're in right now. And Cancer is the zodiac sign that's all about family and the home front, taking care of the home. Capricorn is all about achievement and work and that drive. And the Capricorn full moon is about finding the balance between work and home. And so I was now ready to have a beautiful new fur baby in our life to bring us that balance between my husband and my work life and home life, because we both work lots of hours and we both are very hard workers. We both were raised by entrepreneurial parents. So we have a lot of, let's just say, Capricorn traits in us already. So I wanted to introduce you to Moonshine, and the reason for her name, not the alcohol moonshine, which is very funny because that's down here in the South, but for all of the other reasons I said. Now, I want to just touch on for a moment longer about this full moon. This full moon is not the only thing happening in the world of astrology. What else is happening is that we are having 3, 4, 5 planets that are major players in this full moon. We have got Uranus that is causing big surprises to happen. And we had Pluto in play in the beginning of the week. We don't even have to talk about what happened at the beginning of the week. If you are anyone, that's anyone, you know what happened at the beginning. You have Saturn, the teacher, and today is Saturn's day. It's Saturday. And Saturn rules both the zodiac sign of Capricorn and the zodiac sign of Cancer. It rules both of them. So you've got Saturn also coming into play. Now Saturn is the teacher. So we have lessons in this full moon that we are learning, and your children might be learning. Any full moon, including this one, is a time to release or reveal things. That is what happens on a full moon. And so with this being a work-life balance in home, what do you need to release, or your children need to release, that no longer is working? And it could be any part of your life. I had to release the control I have at my home in regards to it staying neat and clean. My home is no longer staying neat and clean with a new puppy. And so I had to deal with that. It is very challenging for me, but she brings a lot of joy and fun. But what do you have to release? It could be related to your relationships. It could be related to your work life, your home life, your own traits. So those are some of the things. I just want to look really quick. I have a lot of notes only because there's so many planets involved in this full moon activating all around it. And so we do have some things happening that might be very unexpected. And that's the final thing I want to talk about, is how we got our little fur baby. We had I was quietly looking for dogs that were rescues first. I tried very, very hard in my area to find a little dog like Moonshine that was a rescue. The problem I had was dealing with all of the red tape you have to deal with the rescue agencies and the way that I was personally treated. I'm not going to get too much into it or which agency it was that was horrible to deal with, but I basically felt like I was being treated like a criminal. I pretty much gave them everything, the history of our past animal, pet that we had, all the vets, everything, and it wasn't good enough. And so at that point, I had to turn to my second option after I looked at anyone that might be looking to rehome, and most of the rehomes are scams. So then I looked into breeders, and I was very fortunate that I found a very ethical, beautiful, yoga-like breeder that actually has a farm she's creating in my area for puppy yoga therapy, or yoga dog therapy, or dog yoga therapy. I couldn't believe it, and she couldn't believe that I reached out to her as well. The surprise happened when she came to do a home visit to our home with Moonshine's siblings. And instead of one puppy coming to the house, we had 3 puppies that came and showed up at our house. Talk about joy that they had playing at the house. The big surprise, that the planet Uranus sometimes brings surprises, surprise, was that she brought her bags packed, meaning moonshine came with her bags packed for her new home, which it was our first time meeting. We had no idea, or we weren't sure yet if we were ready to do this, but that was our surprise. And these are some of the things that when planets are in certain alignments and certain degrees, they call it, the conditionings are right for certain things to happen in your life. And like I said, I knew it way ahead of time when it was probably going to happen. And I did do some things to push that energy forward. Like I didn't sit down and be waiting, la la la, I know I'm getting a pet, I know I'm getting a dog, la la la, okay universe, bring me the dog. Did I ask? Yes. But I also was pushing the energy forward. So those are all examples of why astrology really does have such a part of our life that if you understand astrology and you understand how to use astrology to your benefit, you will be prepared for anything that comes into your life. And so I hope you enjoyed this full moon video. I know it's very different than other ones where I usually have the crystals out and I have the moons out and I'm doing meditations or whatnot. This time it's your introduction to moonshine, and I look forward to maybe having her in some puppy videos in the future. But for now, I'm going to sign off. Namaste. Have a great yoga day. Happy blue moon. Happy full moon in Capricorn. See you next time.